had the Rona.
When I see you, you stay in my mind. I've been searching for the person that's right, and I'm tired of these lonely nights. Only if you could see me when I see you.
Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. As you guys can tell, I'm in a different location. I am back in Jacksonville, Florida. And today, I'll just be talking about I had the Omicron virus. I had went out of town for Christmas. We ended up going to Myrtle Beach. I started not feeling good the 24th. So a little background around me, I have chronic sinuses and allergies. It actually is a problem. I have to take medicine every night because I naturally wake up with hay fever. I think it's called hay fever. I don't know. I looked it up and I know for a fact, because I've been told by doctors and stuff, that I do have chronic sinuses and allergies. I used to wake up and have swollen eyes, and I was actually prescribed prescription drops for those. So I know I have some sort of allergy / sinus issue. My mom has it too, but I wake up every day. It's not uncommon for me to wake up with a runny nose. It's not uncommon for me to wake up with puffy eyes. It's not uncommon for me to wake up with a little bit of a cough. So, well, not like, but I have it for tickle in my throat. It's not abnormal. I started getting, so I typically know when something's about to go down with my allergies or my sinuses, because I would say 4 times a year, I get a really bad sinus infection. So yeah, other than that, I don't get sick typically. It's just that the sinuses and allergies I think I'm allergic to a lot of things. So I think the environment I'm in, I'm here in Florida, it's sunny, pollen, and it depends on the weather. So yeah, I started getting a little tickle in my throat. December 24th. And I was like, oh my gosh. So I know, because of my body, I know when something's about to go down. So that's when I start taking the sinus relieves and the congestion stuff, because I know in my body, hey, you need to start preparing yourself because something's about to go down. I was also on antibiotics. That's why I brought up I went to the dentist's office because I had a procedure done in my mouth at the dentist's office, and I was prescribed a heavy dose of amoxicillin. So I was on antibiotics. I was on a heavy dose, a heavy dose of antibiotics, because I had an infection in my mouth. So I felt a tickle in my throat, and so that started. And so I started taking some medicine. The next day on Christmas, I woke up and I was very congested. I was super congested and things like that. And I just remember, because if anyone has ever had a sinus infection, you literally feel like you're drowning. You feel like you're drowning. That's the only way I can explain it, because you have liquid all up in this area. So you literally feel like you're drowning. You have all this liquid, you have all this congestion coming down. That's how I felt. And so Christmas, it just intensified. I had a stuffy nose. I felt like I was swimming. And yeah, so we went to dinner and everything. My mom had got reservations for Ruth Chris, so we went to Ruth Chris for Christmas. I thought that's when you had COVID. It's when you lose your taste or smell. I didn't lose my taste or smell. I didn't have any aches. I didn't have any pains. It was just the normal. It felt like I had a sinus infection coming on, but just a little bit intensified, and it just felt a little different. Me and my mom started getting that, and then my sister was like, oh my gosh, it's COVID. So my sister started wearing a mask, but my sister didn't start feeling it until we got back. So we're in South Carolina for 2 days, and then we got back, and then I felt a little bit fatigued, but I thought I wasn't fatigued, but I just felt a little bit more tired. But I thought it's because I was supposed to start my period within that week, more tired. So I thought I was going to start my period. So I didn't really think like, oh, it was COVID, because I typically have those, symptoms. The symptoms would have been like 10 times worse if I wasn't vaccinated. So that's why I'm grateful that I was vaccinated. I was totally against getting vaccinated, but I was vaccinated. The symptoms weren't as bad. So my sister took a COVID test right when we got back, so I want to say like the 26th. And then she got her results New Year's. Now, I was in DC at the time. I was in like the DMV area, DC. I was in DC, PG area, and we had a spike in COVID cases. So everyone, all my friends and things like that had COVID around the same time. I just felt like Christmas was like a surge, because like everyone I knew had COVID. So yeah, so my sister got her results. Turns out they were positive for COVID, and I wasn't able to get a COVID test simply because I don't know why. Like, you can get COVID tests anywhere. Like, everywhere was sold out of COVID tests. CVS wasn't giving COVID tests, and then it was the holidays. It was like around New Year's times too, which I think it had something to do with that. So I couldn't get a COVID test anywhere, and yeah, so all this happened. So that was my New Year's. So once you get a COVID test, I don't know if it's like that in every state, but in the state of Maryland, because like I said, I live in a place outside DC, like right outside of DC. The health department has to call you if you have a confirmed positive COVID test. So the health department was calling us and everything. I started having symptoms like the day before Christmas. So by the time the health department got to me, I was well over my quarantine date. They say you should be in isolation for 7 days, 7 to 10 days. I'm not going to give any advice on COVID in this video, because I'm not that well versed, and the information is changing constantly. I'm well versed, but the information is changing constantly. So by the time you guys see this video, the requirements, mandates, everything may change. So that's just a quick disclaimer off rip. Like, I'm not, but they told me based on when the confirmed COVID test was that I was out of quarantine, isolation, whatever. We think we had the Amarion just because we didn't have severe symptoms. The only thing that was different than a sinus infection was that my voice changed. Like, I was very hoarse. And I was very congested for a bit longer than I typically would be. My congestion, I would say, just went away. Like, I was feeling better and everything. After about 3 days, I was feeling better. I was also on antibiotics, so I think that's something to do with it. And also, my mom has, like I said, we have chronic sinus and allergy issues. So my mom had prescription sinus decongestants I was taking, and the prescription decongestants help so much. The medicine she was taking is equivalent to extra strength Claritin, which is like, as you guys know, that's the allergy medicine. So I was taking that, and that was making me feel better, faster. And so yeah, so after about 5 days, I would say I was feeling better. My voice was still hoarse, my voice was still changed, but I was feeling so much better. So yeah, so like I said, you can get COVID if you have the vaccine. But I will say, because I didn't even know I had COVID. Like I said, get vaccinated, you guys, because, you won't feel it. Like, I didn't even feel that bad. Like, I didn't have fatigue systems or anything. My camera's about to die. So that's it. So comment, rate, subscribe, and check my social media for some needed. You should sign just in. Yeah. So I'll see you guys in another video. Bye.